Most kids his age worry about school, friendships, and video games. But Cristiano Ronaldo Jr. is not most kids. Every time he steps onto a football pitch, millions of eyes are already watching, judging, comparing, waiting to see if he has what it takes. And here is the truth that nobody likes to say out loud. If he fails, he does not just lose a game. He loses something far bigger than most people can even imagine. This is not a story about hate. This is not a story about wanting a young boy to struggle. This is a story about what happens when the weight of a legendary name lands on the shoulders of a teenager who never asked for it. Because Ronaldo Jr. is growing up in a world where normal does not exist. His father is arguably the greatest footballer of all time. His family lives under constant media attention, and the expectations placed on him are not the kind you can simply ignore. So the question is simple, but the answer is not. If Ronaldo Jr. does not live up to what the world expects, what exactly does he stand to lose? Let us start with something people talk about every single day: public expectation. From the moment clips of young Cristiano Jr. scoring goals went viral, the narrative was already written for him. People began calling him the next Ronaldo. They analyzed his technique, his speed, his celebrations. Social media turned a child into a prospect before he even finished growing. And that is where the danger begins. Because when the world decides who you are supposed to become, anything less than that feels like failure. It does not matter if you are talented. It does not matter if you work hard. If you do not meet the picture people painted in their minds, they will call you a disappointment. That is the invisible trap Ronaldo Jr. walks into every single day. But that is only one part of the story. Let us talk about what he could actually lose if things do not go the way people expect. The first thing is something money cannot buy: his chance to build his own identity. Right now, the world sees him as Cristiano Ronaldo's son. If he succeeds in football, he earns the right to be seen as his own person. He gets to write his own chapter. But if he falls short, that identity may never fully form. He could spend his entire life being defined not by who he is, but by who his father was. And that is a weight that never goes away. The second thing he could lose is something deeply personal: the trust and vision his father has for him. Cristiano Ronaldo is known for his obsession with excellence. He has built his entire life around discipline, sacrifice, and relentless ambition. Many fans believe that Cristiano sees something special in his son, that he is not just raising a child, but preparing a future champion. If Ronaldo Jr. fails to meet that standard, it does not mean his father would stop loving him, but the shared dream they may be building together could quietly fade. And losing a dream you share with your hero is one of the most painful things a young person can experience. And this is where things get serious. The third thing at stake is access. Elite football is a closed world. The best academies, the top clubs, the most powerful networks in the sport, they open their doors to those who show promise. Right now, Ronaldo Jr. has a golden key. His name, his connections, his father's legacy, all of it gives him access that most young players would do anything for. But access without results does not last forever. If he does not develop at the expected pace, those doors could slowly begin to close. And once they close in professional football, they rarely open again. Then there is public respect. The internet is not kind. It never has been. If Ronaldo Jr. struggles on the pitch, the same people who once praised him will turn on him without hesitation. Comment sections will fill with mockery. Comparisons to his father will become weapons instead of compliments. The world will not just say he failed. They will say he was never good enough to begin with. And for a teenager still figuring out who he is, that kind of public judgment can be devastating. What most people do not realize is that confidence is fragile at that age. One bad season, one viral mistake, one moment of weakness caught on camera, and the belief a young player has in himself can shatter. Ronaldo Jr. is not immune to that. No one is. If failure chips away at his confidence early, it could affect not just his football career, but his entire sense of self-worth for years to come. There is also something that rarely gets discussed: privacy. Right now, Ronaldo Jr. is famous because of potential, because of hope, because the story is still exciting. But if the football dream fades, the spotlight does not just disappear, it shifts. Instead of celebrating him, the media begins questioning him. Instead of admiring his progress, people start digging into his personal life for content. He loses the protection that success provides and gains the exposure that failure attracts. And perhaps the most heartbreaking loss of all would be the freedom to make mistakes. Normal teenagers fail all the time. They try things, mess up, learn, and grow. Nobody films it. Nobody tweets about it. Nobody writes articles analyzing what went wrong. But Ronaldo Jr. does not have that luxury. Every stumble is public. Every bad performance is a headline. If he fails, he does not just lose a match. He loses the right to be imperfect without the entire world having an opinion about it. Now, let us talk about his father's role in all of this. Cristiano Ronaldo did not become the greatest by accident. He was shaped by pain, discipline, and an almost inhuman level of dedication. He grew up without wealth. He left his family as a child to chase a dream. He sacrificed comfort, relationships, and rest to reach the top. And from the outside, it looks like he's trying to pass that same mentality to his son. Some people think Cristiano is too strict, that he pushes too hard. But here is what those critics may be missing. Cristiano knows better than anyone how cruel football can be. He has seen talented players waste their gifts. He has watched promising careers collapse because of laziness, ego, or distraction. He understands that talent alone means nothing without the work ethic to back it up. So when he pushes his son, it is not cruelty, it is preparation. He is trying to protect Ronaldo Jr. from a world that will not care about his last name once the ball starts rolling. But behind the cameras, the reality looks very different. Because no matter how strong Cristiano is as a mentor, the emotional pressure on his son is enormous. Imagine waking up every morning knowing that your father is a global icon. Imagine training at an academy where every coach already knows your name before you arrive. Imagine scrolling through social media and seeing strangers debate whether you are good enough to carry your family's legacy. That kind of pressure does something to a young mind. It creates a constant fear of falling short, a feeling that no matter what you achieve, it will never be enough. Ronaldo Jr. is not just competing against other players his age, he is competing against a ghost, the perfect image of what people think he should become. And that ghost never makes mistakes. That ghost never gets tired. That ghost is not real, but the pressure it creates absolutely is. There is also the comparison that never ends. Every goal he scores will be measured against his father's. Every skill he shows will be analyzed frame by frame. And every time he does not perform, someone somewhere will say the same thing. He is not his father. Those 4 words might sound simple, but for a boy who probably admires his dad more than anyone, hearing them over and over again could be quietly devastating. And that may be the biggest risk of all. What if Ronaldo Jr. does not actually want this? What if the pressure becomes so heavy that the joy of football disappears? What if he wakes up one day and realizes the dream was never his, but everyone else's? That is a question no one seems to ask. The world has already decided his path, but he is still a teenager, still growing, still figuring out what makes him happy. If failure in football comes, the hardest part might not be the loss of fame or opportunity. It might be the loss of a dream that was built by other people and placed on his shoulders before he was old enough to say whether he wanted it or not. And that kind of loss does not show up in headlines. It lives quietly inside a person for a very long time. So what could Ronaldo Jr. lose if he fails? Not just trophies, not just contracts, not just headlines. He could lose time spent chasing something that was never fully his choice. He could lose confidence that takes years to rebuild. He could lose the trust of people who believed in a version of him that may not exist yet. And he could lose the future that millions of fans have already imagined for him. A future that feels more like a demand than a possibility. But here's the thing, he is still young. The story is not written yet. And maybe, just maybe, the greatest thing Ronaldo Jr. can do is not become the next Cristiano Ronaldo, but become the first version of himself, whatever that looks like. If this video made you think, drop a like and leave a comment telling us what you believe the future holds for Ronaldo Jr. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video, and we will see you in the next one.